Good evening, everybody. Welcome to your Thursday evening Facebook Live. My name is Sarah Edwards. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and I come to you guys live every Tuesday and Thursday at 7 to show you a fun new project. So hopefully you guys got out into your craft room today. I did a little bit. You can at least walk in my craft room without tripping over a million things. So I got lots of boxes put away and thrown away, so that was definitely a huge relief off of my shoulders. I still have a little bit left, but I didn't take it too strong today. I could have finished, but I kind of took it easy. So it does feel good to be able to walk in your studio. Good evening, Heather. Welcome. So today's project is the same sips, cheers and sips as we did yesterday, not on Tuesday. But it is a fun fold. And I usually don't do like massive amount of layers. And this one I did a massive amount of layers. So I'm super excited to show you guys. Let's point you over so we can get started. I feel like my studio is dark, but all my lights are on. So I don't know what it is. Okay, let me make sure we're live on Facebook, which we should be. There we go. So let me bring in the stamp sets and the dies. So we're pretty much using kind of the same things as we did on yesterday's live. So we're using this cup right here. I think this is for the olives, but we're using it as the umbrella stands. And I brought in this little leaf and the little blueberries or blackberries. I don't know what they are. I think I'm making them blueberries or blackberries because I am using blueberry bushel, so maybe they're blueberries. Who knows? But anyway, so this is the stamp set and the bundle. It is a page suite, but I just went online and the suite is on back order. So I think it's because of the ribbon. Let me find, I think the ribbon is on back order. Let me look. Oh, maybe it was not in this one. Maybe it was in the other. Anyway, I didn't look too close at it, but I know the suite is on back order. But you can still order the bundle and the designer series paper. So for this one, I chose to use this old olive, and let's see, where's this sheets. So these two sheets is what I chose to do tonight's fun fold. It's such gorgeous paper. It's actually a gorgeous sweeps. So let me bring in the card, and I paired it with the shades of green gems. So this is actually the gems that go to the Totally Awesome set, but I thought it paired really well with the old olive. So those are the gems that I used, and I used the same gold ribbon. And on the inside, there's lots of layers as well. So I'm excited to show you guys. The only thing I forgot to bring over, it's actually because I was talking to one of my girlfriends right before I went live, and I looked up and it was like a minute to 7. So I was like, oh snap, I gotta go. I did do the dies. Ugh, I just lost the name of them. Anyway, if you know it, put it in the comments so I can say it. But I did use some extra dies for the sets. So let me bring in all of the goodies. So I have a piece of Berry Burst, and this measures 4¼ by 11. And I really hope, now that I said that out loud, that I did put the 4¼ by 11 in the dimensions. I might have put 4 inches, but just know that it's 4¼ by 11. And I scored it in 2 spots. I scored it on one side at 2 3/4, and the other side I scored at 8 1/4. So what we can do is fold on those 2 score marks and give it a nice good crease. And really, Natalie always calls me when I'm doing my Facebook Live. So when you fold on both of those crease, your seam will meet in the middle. And that is what's going to give us our fun fold. So since it's open, we can go ahead and layer our old olive, which is 4 by 5 1/4, and our basic white, that is 3 3/4 by 5. So we can go ahead and layer those two together. And then we can put that on the card base. just like that. And then we can put this on the inside. So once your card is folded, it will be a normal 4¼ by 5½ card, and it fits perfectly in our envelopes. So there's the inside, and now we can do a little bit of decorating on the outside. So I have 2 pieces of old olive. These both measure 2½ by 4, and they are going to get layered to the front flaps, the 2 front flaps. And then we can put this one on the bottom. I really hope I cut those right. It looks a little small. If not, we're going to make it work. And yep, I knew it. These are supposed to be a little bit wider. Let me see if my other ones are. Nope, those are all cut the same way as well. That's okay. We're still going to make it work. Let me grab my trimmer so I can trim down the designer series paper. In the measurements, I did put in the correct. I did these at the retreat, so I was probably a little tired. I'm just going to trim this down to 3½. It wouldn't be alive if something didn't go wrong. Yesterday it was the volume. Today I cut the wrong measurements. And I didn't even triple check to make sure everything was right, because I usually, not that I can't make mistakes, I usually kind of sometimes don't. But I did right there. But it's okay. It's still going to be cute. And nobody's going to know. Okay, so the flowered designer series paper is going to go up top, and the old olive striped is going to go on the bottom. There we go. So that is part of the front of it. So I do have 2 that I die cut out of the dies that I can't remember the name of. It literally is right on the tip of my tongue, and I have no idea why. I'm not quite with it again today. I swear I'll get back to normal. So I'm going to take the cheers, and I'm going to stamp this first, right at the bottom, so we know where to put our cup. And I'm just going to put my cup right where the EERS is, right at the bottom. And that's going to make sure that there's enough room up top for our umbrella. So I'm going to bring in my silicone mat and my light cloud cover. Hello, Mary, welcome. So I'm going to kind of lay this flat and draw a line, and that's where I'm going to color. So this one, I didn't do any stamping besides the memento. I'm going to use all of our markers. And yes, it's probably not the best coloring job, but I'm going to show you a little trick in a second. So I have that colored, and then I'm going to bring in my blending pen, and I am going to have to push a little bit harder than I normally would on a blender pen, just because I've had this a really long time. This is probably one of my first purchases, and it has lasted a really long time, but it's a little dried out. So I am just going to come in and remove a little bit of that in the center to kind of give it more of a beverage look. I think it looks a little bit more like a beverage look. I don't know if you guys can see that in the camera, but I think it helped a little bit. And now we can glue these 2 together. The arches, that's what they're called. Something arches. And I should have brought them over, and I spaced it. So before we glue this to our card base, I want to wrap a piece of our ribbon around it. And I did bring over a brand new roll of mini glue dots. That I did remember to do. It was last minute, but I remembered. And I'm going to wrap this just right up at the top. And it is a little long for the size that I need. But while I was cleaning, I think I used this for the make and takes, and I think somebody might have forgotten to put it on their card, so they put it back in the little tub. So that's why it's a smidgen long. So now I can start to attach this to my card. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of line it up the way I want it, and then I'm going to flip it over and just put some tear tape across the bottom and the middle, because this is what's going to hold it down. I actually think I'm going to put a little tiny piece over the ribbon too, just to make sure it's not going to go anywhere. I don't think it's going to, but just to be safe. And I'm going to put one more right there. This card is not going anywhere, I can assure you. Peel the backing off, and then we can just make sure that it's lined up how you want it and press it down. And then when you flip it up, you won't have any adhesive seeping out of the bottom of your card because you used tear tape. So that's how we put the front of it together. Usually I put a mini glue dot up underneath this ribbon, but we are going to be using the dimensionals with the umbrella, so it will hold that down. So let's bring in all of our little pieces. So this one, I'm just going to color a little bit. So I have my light old olive. And I'm going to color the flower or the leaves. And then I'm going to come in with the dark and do the veins of the leaves just to kind of give it a little bit of a pop. And this is actually something that you could put on the Versamark as well and make it shimmer. Or you could use Wink of Stella. I think Wink of Stella would work as well. But I really like the way that the Versamark worked. Okay, so there's that one. And then I'm going to bring in the light Darling Duckling and the light Berry Burst, and we can color the umbrella. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to skip one and then go in and fill it in with the Berry Burst. And I think I need a new Berry Burst because this one I'm having to push a little bit harder. I didn't notice it while I was prepping these during the retreat, but when I started prepping again tonight, I noticed that it was getting a little hammered. So I'm going to have to order another one. It is free shipping, so get an inventory of all of your blends and just order what you need. Never hurts to order extra of the colors that you know you're going to be using a ton of. Okay, now this is Light Blackberry Bliss. And this one I've actually had a really long time, and it is still vibrant. So you can tell that I don't use the Blackberry Bliss very often. And I'm just going to come in with the dark. I'm not going to do every single one of them because they're super tiny. That might take up the entire blackberry or blueberry, but just a little smidgen. And then last but not least, I'm going to come in with the dark old olive and just do the stem. There we go. Easy peasy. And you could really even come in and stamp the ice cubes on here as well if you wanted to. So let's grab some mini dimensionals. And there they are. And we're going to start adding them to our little pieces. And the umbrella could do one or two of the large ones, but since I already have these ones out, I'm just going to use these. But these little tiny guys definitely need the mini one. Okay, peel them off, throw them in the trash, otherwise they end up on the floor. And this one I'm going to go ahead and put right on the side. And I want to cover the little stem. I am going to do a little something different, and I'm going to glue this piece down and then put the umbrella on top of it. So I just want a smidgen of glue on there. And I definitely could have used the adhesive sheets to cut this out beforehand, but I didn't think about it. And then let's top it off with a cute little bow and bring in some gems. And you guys have a super duper cute card. You can use any one of these gems because they're all shades of green, and I really think it helped make it pop a lot better. Hopefully you guys like that. So here's my original one. And if you're an avid crafter, you might be able to notice my little oopsie, but honestly, I really don't even think it's super noticeable. Okay, so I have one more that I will just quickly put together for you guys, just so I can have it off of my workstation and it can go in the mail to somebody special. But I do love this fun fold. It's super duper easy. I actually think Lori, Vicky's sister, was doing this fold during the retreat, and that's what made me think about it. I was like, I have not done this in a long time. So thank you to Lori for the inspiration to create this card. Perfect. And I'm probably going to have to cut that designer series paper down a little bit. Yep, but that's okay. It happens. Not the end of the world. This just goes to show if you do mess up, just keep going. It's totally okay. Don't stop and throw your card away or start over. Just keep rolling with the flow. We're gonna have to cut it down to 3.5, even though it's supposed to be 3.25. And there we go. And then the top piece. This paper is so beautiful. Okay, that is done. So, and I've already colored and have everything ready besides the little, oh, there it is. Must have fallen out. So let's flip all these over, add some dimensionals. And while I do this, I'll just chit chat with you. Free shipping goes until 11 o'clock tomorrow night, Arizona time. So it would be midnight Utah time. So that is 11 o'clock our time. So you still have plenty of time to get your wish list together. And if you need any help, you can always reach out. I am definitely here. I usually don't work on Fridays, but I picked up a shift because I was off all last week for the retreats. So I am working in the morning, but I will definitely have my phone so I can answer messages as soon as I get done. But I will be doing a big paper order. I went through a lot of paper during the retreat, which is awesome. That means people are crafting and making crafts. So I will definitely be doing inventory of that. Let me glue that down. Come in, put my umbrella. I only had one bow tied. I should have tied another one, but I was busy yakking on the phone. Almost done. I promise, and then I'll let you guys get back to your evening, whatever you're doing. We're actually watching a really good show on, I think it's Amazon Prime. It's a book series. It's called Bosch. Bo read the books, and we watched the entire series of it. And now there's another series with a different character in the book. So yesterday or the day before, we lived on the wild side and watched 2 episodes at once in one sitting. We never do that. So we were living a little dangerously. But tonight we only got 1 episode. And you see, I don't know if you noticed, but I added the tear tape to the designer's or to the cardstock and the ribbon. So then I didn't have to do an extra strip in there. I don't think it's going to go anywhere, but if you're already adding it, you can just put it right in the center. Open it up, and no adhesive. Worked perfect. Let's add a few gems, and I will bring them in to show you. There you go. That is how fun and cute these cards are. I love the sips. I love the little cocktail cups. I think they are so fun and so different. And the cards really do stay flat. Like this one is completely flat. I did take my bone folder and kind of go across the top a couple times just to make sure that was a nice crisp fold. Oh, you can just see by me doing it on with my fingernail how it did make that close a little bit nicer. But there you go. Hopefully you guys enjoyed tonight's live. I will be back Tuesday for another Facebook Live. I usually don't sit down when I craft either, but I was totally sitting down. I will be back Tuesday for another live. Not sure what we're going to be doing, but I will be definitely working on it as soon as my craft room gets cleaned. Anyways, if you need any help, please feel free to reach out. If not, I will see everybody on Tuesday. Have a great evening. Bye-bye.